screen pass. It's caught at the 45-40. Big running room to the 30. Needs a block. It's Buck Allen, and he'll go all the way. Touchdown, USC.
Buck Allen had over 100 yards receiving in that one. Tonight's highlights are courtesy of 710 ESPN. Staying here with the coach. And Coach, the word communication came up a lot after that one. Both offensive line, I heard a lot of talk about communication, and then also defensively dealing with things. Break that down. What does that mean? How do you fix communication issues?
Well, I think you just keep practicing it more so than anything else, and I think you force guys to communicate. I think you have to do it in practice. You have to do it in walkthroughs. You have to hear them communicate, and our guys know verbal and nonverbal communication is critical to our success on both sides of the ball. And the other night, Boston College forced us to communicate on the move, on the fly, with all of, again, the fly motion that they were showing us with number 6, with the varying stunts that they were presenting to our offensive line, which we're going to continue to get. And
right.
until we do something about this, we're going to keep getting it. So, again, this morning, Tuesday morning, in 95-degree weather, we were focusing on communicating up front on the offensive line and communicating in the secondary and with our linebackers on how we were going to fit all the things that we were getting.
Real quick, it was 95 this morning, and you were wearing a hoodie. What is going on with the wardrobe? How do you manage to wear that in that heat this morning? I know it's a little bit of a harsh segue away from the game, but did you just explain to me how you were wearing a hoodie this morning?
You know, my days are jam-packed, and I only have so much time to get my heart rate going, get a little sweat going, and so I take advantage of the practice time.
You're like a high school wrestler. You must have dropped like 20 pounds this morning.
No, those guys put on like the Glad bags. I was just wearing a gray hoodie. So, but it, you know, I will say this about our guys. They really, in my opinion, understood coming into Tuesday's practice the value of the bye week. The bye week is not off week. The bye week is get better week, and I thought we really did that today. We worked on red zone, offense and defense. We worked on third downs. We worked on a blitz period. We really worked on our punt return game, which is an area which I think we can definitely improve upon. We had a whole segment, a scrimmage segment of practice devoted to our developmental players, the scout team guys. So we got a lot of work done today. We'll get a lot of work done again tomorrow, and then Thursday we'll really dedicate solely to our developmental players to get those guys continuing to improve and get their games to the highest level they can get to right now.
Yeah, I got one more Boston College question,
yeah.
and I'll move on to the next week. Rushing, the defensive, stopping the run defensively. That's one of the things you pride yourself on, obviously.
Sure.
It's one of the first priorities. Obviously, Boston College had a huge day running the football. After watching the film, what adjustments can you make? Because it's going to be the same guys have to stop the run in future games.
And I've said this all along, JJ, and you've heard me. I think great teams stop the run on defense and they can run the ball on offense. And it doesn't matter if it's Little League, high school, NFL. And there's nothing more glaring than what occurred Saturday night. Their ability to run the ball for over 400 yards, our ability to rush for 20-something yards. At the end of the day, we still lose the game. We win the turnover battle. We're better on third down. We're better in the red zone. How important it is to stop the run and run the football. I will give Boston College some credit here as well. Again, they gave us a little bit of a unique look, something that hadn't been on film. They went to the zone read game out of the pistol where they started to read Leonard Williams. They weren't doing the traditional read, the end man on the line of scrimmage, what would have been J.R. Tavai or a Scott Starr. They were reading Leonard, and so they really took our best player and didn't block him. They blocked him with the read with the quarterback and the running back, and that was something that wasn't on film. We had to make some adjustments as best we could on the sidelines. Obviously, that wasn't good enough, and so that'll be a point of emphasis and has been today and will continue to be throughout this week because we're going to see it again until we do something about it.
Listen, you never want to lose, but in some ways, is it easier to coach after a game like this? There was some talk that the top 10 ranking was, I don't know, a distraction or some sense of complacency. No one really could put a finger on it, but I would imagine you have everyone's attention this week for sure.
Well, I think the best thing is this. And I've said this coming into the season, and I firmly believe this. Our goal is to win the Pac-12 South. And whether you win or lose your non-conference games, all those things, you shake it all out. At the end of the day, the goal is to win the Pac-12 South. We're in first place. We're 1-0. We beat the reigning conference champions on the road. At the end of the day, if we can win the South, we compete for a Pac-12 championship. And whoever that is coming from the North. If we can win that game, we're USC. I firmly believe we have an opportunity to get into that playoff regardless of we lose on the road early in the season or not, a game that really doesn't go our way, we don't play our best football. So everything we want to accomplish is still directly right in front of us. So you can take this game, we can learn from this game, I can take it to our players, we can point to specific areas of where we need to improve right now early in the season, and I think we will. We've got a great coaching staff, we've got great leadership on this team, but we need to learn from the areas from not just this game, but the first 3 games that could impact our season if we don't do something about it.
And, you know, when I look at the stats, Cody Kessler, 31 of 41, 76%, 317 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Of all the things that went wrong, that went right.
Sure did. I thought Cody played a heck of a game. And again, like me or like anybody else on the team, there's a handful of plays he'd love to have back.
Right.
He'd like to do differently. But you know, for a guy who everyone's saying, can he fit in this system? How's he going to fit in this system? He's sure pretty good through 3 games right now. And I think his best football is still ahead of him. He's playing at a high level. I'm appreciative of, again, what Cody brings every single day to practice.
Hopefully USC's best football is ahead of it. It has the bye week this week. Then Coach will be back with us on Trojans Live. We'll break down Oregon State next week. A couple home games coming up. It'll be nice to be back in the Coliseum. Trojans Live is brought to you by Hyundai, proud supporter of college football and loyal fans everywhere. Thank you to Coach. When we come back, we're going to break it down with a couple of your players, a veteran in Randall Telfer, and a young guy, and Chris Hawkins coming off his first career interceptions. We're coming right back at you on Trojans Live.